Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing the top 5 most useful tips for No Man's Sky. The first one, let's get into number 1 now. The first one will be in your video options. It would be your frame lock, your vigilant scan lines, and your base proximity limitations. If you put those all to disable, and you play on regular PlayStation, or maybe an old PC, an old computer, or an old Xbox or something like that, and it just runs bad, try and turning those off from enabled to disable, and it should make your game run much smoother. It will say it will give a negative impact on game performance, but that's not always true. It's not always true. Second tip, I'll go ahead and get into, is wiring. How to preserve power when wiring. So, when you wire, try not to make a biscotti of wiring, and I'm about to show you what I mean. Biscotti of wiring is this. If you make biscotti of wiring, which none of these are active to the actual base, they're just random wires I put here as the preference. Try and keep your wires around the edges of your base, and you can even make them go up. Just when you make them go up, make sure you know which corners of your building or which wires you want them to be, versus having all the biscotti wire go everywhere. So you can even build them on the snap points of the base if you wanted to. Another thing to do to preserve power is disconnect the teleporter or lights and use them with the proximity sensor. Now if you're using short range teleporters, you can even do that with those. So the best way to do this, so the door uses 1, square buildings uses 2, or they use 5 actually, per one, so 5 and 10, and the portal uses 20, so there's 30. If all of that was together, that would be 31, but I have it wired the opposite. The building is off, so there's 30 off right there. The door is the only thing that's on, so that's 1. So really, it's just 1. I only have 1 material extractor, which is 50, I believe. Yes, 50. And I have my base connected to a electrical hotspot, which those are always useful. But yes, if you want to preserve power without having to run a bunch of electrical fields and a bunch of circuits, this is the best way to do it, is by making your circuits shortened or even shrunk down by using proximity sensors. And what that will do is it will lessen the power usage in the base. You can even make circuits using the proximity sensors, or you can even attach them to a circuit to make that circuit less, so on and so forth, on power, if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you might have to look up in another video, but there's plenty of them out there. Alright, so tip 3 is the fly and dive. The fly and dive is where you sprint full speed, and you hit the whack button, and you fly. It doesn't always work, as you just saw. But that time, it worked. And it gives you a lot more momentum if you don't have rocket boots. So there's tip 3. So tip 4 is going to be one of the most useful raw elements in the game that makes you the most money. Most people think it's chlorine or salt. Yes, that makes a lot of money, but they don't make anywhere near as much as active Urmel. So active Urmel is always useful. It's very high tier. It's extremely hard to get, and it's on planets that are very dangerous, and that may or may not kill you if you're in permadeath. But it's worth it, in my opinion. Especially if you make a big enough farm out of it. If you make a really massive farm, you can make about 30 million a day just by selling a farm of about 12,000 pieces. My bad. 12,000 pieces. And what that will do is that 12,000 will revert to either 12 million or 15 million. In some cases, it'll even be 12,000 could revert to 20 million or 24 million. Sometimes it could be double or even triple as profit. So it's very useful to sell active materials. Remember, the active materials are the most valuable in the game. Alright guys, so I'm back. Hopefully my animal don't attack me today, because it attacked me yesterday and almost killed me. In a live stream. If any of you saw that, that was pretty hilarious. But your animal can be used to get you out of steep areas. Like, let's say you go to a planet that is so steep that you can only land on these like skyscrapers of mountains, and it's like deadly mountain, treacherous ravines. Well, your animals can actually climb the mountains for you if you ride them. Now, sometimes your animal might not want to listen. As you can see, look at that. I can drop straight down in that hole and come straight out of it, and it don't affect me or hurt the animal. See? Yeah, they're very slow, some of them are. The best animal in the game would be a battery animal. There are quite a few different ones, but the one that you would want to find is, it's got like a radar dish for a head, and it's kind of like a horse. It's super fast, and it's honestly faster than the player. But yeah, they can climb mountains for you. No matter how steep they are. Look at that. So, if you're ever on a planet and you're worried about dying, your animal can be used to get you around on the mountains or down or up them without you having to risk jumping to your doom. So, if you don't want to risk jumping to your doom, well, use your animal. But yeah, I hope the top 5 tips help you, and I hope you liked the video. It's been a long time since I've done a top 5 video.